I'm Natalia Bonner. Welcome back. All right, today I get to share just a sneak peek into my process of custom machine quilting this adorable flower quilt. All right, I'm super duper excited about this quilt. It's one that I actually recently custom machine quilted for my client Sandra, and I loved machine quilting it for her. Immediately when I saw this quilt, I knew that the Sway machine quilting rulers would be the perfect fit to really bring this quilt to life. So in today's video, I am going to be showing you how to use my Sway 3, my Sway 4, and my Sway 5 machine quilting rulers. We're going to do a little bit of marking with the Sway 3 and also quilting, and then we'll also use the Sway 4 and Sway 5 to machine quilt this adorable flower. Now, I do also have a brand new PNQ Academy video coming soon. What is a PNQ Academy video? So, the PNQ Academy is really this amazing online library of machine quilting videos that I've created as I am custom machine quilting real quilts. So, it's kind of like hanging out in my studio here for a full day or week or however long it takes to machine quilt a quilt, shrunken down into about an hour or less, and I share my full process machine quilting these quilts in these real-time videos. So it's definitely a great place to enroll and really expand and enhance your machine quilting library. All right, so a few more products that we are going to be using today before we hop over to the machine. The thread that I'm using here on this quilt is so fine, and I chose to use color number 403. I love how this color really blends nicely on this quilt. Now on the backing, it's a nice neutral color, so I did choose to use the pre-wound Super Bob bobbins in a neutral color. And let's be honest, I do so much quilting that I'm not actually using these little tubes of bobbins. I'm seriously using these giant boxes of pre-wound bobbins and flying through them, and I'm loving them. Now we do have these products all available for purchase on our website, peaceandquilt.com. I'm also going to be doing a little bit of marking. I like to use the blue Mark Be Gone marker. I personally have had great success with this marker, but I do recommend that you make sure your markings are removed 100% before you get any heat on your quilt at all. Now you know I'm probably going to be sneaking in my mini 4-in-1 machine quilting ruler with our PNQ pop socket ruler grip at some point. I don't think I quilt any quilts that I don't use that ruler. I will also be using a long straight ruler for some of my marking, and I purchased that ruler from the quiltedpineapple.com. The batting that I'm using here on this quilt to also create a lot of fun texture is the Quilter Stream wool batting. Now I'm going to be using my Gammill 22-inch machine here to do all of my hand-guided quilting. Whenever you're machine quilting with rulers like we'll be doing here, I am going to make sure I have my ruler foot on my machine, and I do also have the Gammill extended base plate to give me a nice large flat working surface on my machine. I will be doing all my stitching in the stitch regulated mode with my stitch length set at 13 stitches per inch. All right, enough talking. Let's hop over to my machine and let's get stitching. So here's the adorable flower that we're going to be machine quilting today. You will need the Sway 3, the Sway 4, and the Sway 5 machine quilting ruler. Now because this marking is small enough that it does fit in my throat space after my quilt is loaded on the long arm machine, I will do the marking after it's loaded. You can see here I'm going to start out by using that long straight ruler from the Quilted Pineapple. I'm first going to mark an X through the center of my block, then I'm going to mark a T. Once I have that marking complete, now I'm going to use the hook end on my Sway 3 machine quilting ruler. I'll line up those markings on the hook end on the Sway 3 machine quilting ruler right on top of the markings that I've marked with the blue Mark Be Gone marker. You'll see how I'll flip that ruler back and forth to mark a circle right in the center of that block. Now I'm ready to begin quilting. I'll start out quilting anywhere along this block, but I'm choosing to start on one of the sides. I'll use that curved side of the Sway 4 machine quilting ruler to stitch a curved line to my next point along that center circle. At that point, I'm going to switch to the Sway 3 machine quilting ruler, and you'll see here how I'll line the markings up on that ruler with the markings that I've marked with the Mark Be Gone marker, and then I'm going to quilt along the marked line. I'm using both the concave and the circle end of the Sway 3 machine quilting ruler to work my way around that circle. Now let's work on that center flower. A flower is always something fun to machine quilt, at least I think so. Here I'm going to free motion quilt point to point flower in the center of my flower. So to do this, I'm actually going to use the markings that I've marked with my blue Mark Be Gone marker, machine quilt a teardrop shaped flower right to that center, and repeat that process until I filled in that flower completely. Next, I'm going to switch back to the Sway 4 machine quilting ruler. I'm going to work back and forth between the concave side of that ruler and the circle end of that ruler to machine quilt point to point curves, working all the way around the outside of my circle. Always remember when machine quilting with rulers that you want to apply very gentle pressure. I say that loud because it's very important, but also remember you'll always hold your ruler, your machine quilting ruler, 1/4 of an inch away from where you want your thread to intersect. Now I'll travel down to the next marked line, and I'm going to switch to my Sway 5 machine quilting ruler. I'm going to use my Sway 5 machine quilting ruler to stitch over those previous stitch lines that I'd stitched with the Sway 4 machine quilting ruler to really add an extra element of detail to this adorable block. So again, I'm working back and forth between that concave side on the Sway 5 machine quilting ruler and also that circle end. I'll repeat this process, working all the way right back to where I started. Now at this point, I'll make sure to remove those markings that I've marked using that blue Mark Be Gone marker. I love how this adorable quilt turned out. I do share my full process of machine quilting this fun quilt in the PNQ Academy. When you enroll, not only do you gain access to this amazing machine quilting video, but also over 130 more machine quilting videos. Definitely check it out. Find all of the details on our website, peaceandquilt.com. Have a great day, everybody.
Celebrities stay cool. They have many fans.